The kind of landslide victory which BJP has got in Madhya Pradesh, people had not thought about it. 160 plus, that's the number which BJP has got in Madhya Pradesh. And that too after Shivraj Chauhan ruled the state for 3 terms. Similarly, Rajasthan, people were expecting that BJP will form the government, and BJP has won Rajasthan as well. What's coming as a surprise, of course, is Chhattisgarh as well. Chhattisgarh, initially, all the reporters, all the journalists, political analysts were under the impression that Bhupesh Baghel will return to power for the second straight term. But that hasn't happened. Initially, it looked like a close contest, and that close contest got converted into a victory for BJP in Chhattisgarh as well. So what were the reasons for this grand victory of BJP in these 3 states? And then, of course, talking about Congress, for Congress, it's a major setback, whether it is Rajasthan, whether it is Chhattisgarh or Madhya Pradesh as well. The only victory which can bring some solace to Congress is, of course, the southern state of Telangana. So where does Congress from here on go? How does it impact the India Alliance? Mallikarjun Kharge has already announced that the next India Alliance meeting will be at his residence on 6th of December. So how does the politics unfold from here? How does it impact BJP and Congress? And of course, the India Alliance. Joining me now is veteran journalist, author, and economist Prem Shankar Jha. Sir, welcome on The Federal. And it's wonderful to have you on the program and to also listen to a person like you. What are your first thoughts on today's results, sir? 3-1, that is 3 states to BJP and 1 state only for Congress.
First and foremost, please remember that a seat count alone is extremely deceptive. You need to know the vote shares also, and you do not know that just now. And if you do not, once you look at that, if you find that there's a similar slide in the vote shares, then it becomes a very serious issue. At this moment, anybody who's telling you that this is serious and and it's a major setback for Congress and a major victory for BJP doesn't know what he's talking about. I know I'm using strong words, but I mean it, and I'm going to tell you why precisely just now. Let us look at the 2013 and 2018 results for these 3 states. If you look at them, you will find, excuse me, I'm going to turn away because I've got data in front of me and I'm looking at them. All right, so don't mind that. You see, let's take Rajasthan in 2013 to 2018. The vote of Congress went up from 33% to 39.3%, 6.3%, 6.2% roughly. The seats went up from 21 to 100. There was a 5 times increase in seats for a 6% shift in vote, which is actually not even a 20% change in vote. So, 500% increase in seats for 20% increase in votes. All right, but that was extraordinary. If you look at Chhattisgarh in the same year, you find that the vote share of the Congress went up from 40.3% to 43%, 2.7%. But their seats almost doubled from 39 to 68. If you look at Madhya Pradesh, you will find exactly the same thing. The votes went up from 36.3 to 40.9%, 3.6%. The number of seats went from 58 to 114. That is almost exactly double. All right. Now, what you're seeing is the reverse of this today. I am telling you now, I'm predicting this. Mark my words on this. When you see the vote count, you'll see that the shift is small. But these are 2 states in which the vote is very evenly spread. It's a classic simple majority voting system situation that arises, and it's arisen before in this country, and it's arisen in every country with a simple majority voting system. That you get a magnification of the vote to seat ratio, both upwards and downwards, and that's what we've seen just now. Coming back now to what this implies. What it implies is that you have a classic anti-incumbency vote, both in Rajasthan and in Madhya Pradesh. Parties voted in with 3 or 4% shift in vote, big shift in seats. It does many things, but there's something it's not being able to touch, which is important, very important to the people. So in fact, a certain percentage of the vote, again 3 or 4%, maybe 6% is the absolute maximum in this entire lot that I've told you, shift, and that's enough to give you a landslide in the other direction. So you're seeing landslides caused by the voting system. And the main thing here is anti-incumbency. Now, we had this anti-incumbency pattern from the 1970s till the mid-90s, when the liberalization of the economy actually diluted this, because everyone began to do it.
But Mr. Jha, this anti-incumbency vote is not seen in Madhya Pradesh. Why? What is the reason for that?
How do you mean it's not being seen in Madhya Pradesh? Madhya Pradesh, look, there is a shift in the vote in Madhya Pradesh. Please understand this. Let us get this correct. The vote is from 36.3. There is a vote. We don't know what the shift is now, but we can judge from what happened in the last 2 elections. Between 2013 and 2018, the share of the Congress went up from 36.3 to 40.9%. Its seats went up from 58 to 114. The share of the BJP went up, and now I'm trying to see which year this was. No, I haven't got the BJP votes. I have not got them here now. That there's a bit of a mix-up, and I'm not going to read you the wrong figures. Yeah. This is quite enough to explain the anti simple majority voting system combined by an anti-incumbency shift of 3 to 4%, which is natural. It is natural, but the fact that it has reappeared after it had gone down in the 90s and the 2010 till 2010, it's reappeared, means once again there's deep dissatisfaction which we're not able to tap. And the dissatisfaction is very directly visible once you get away from the voting thing and think of what's happening in the economy. There are no jobs. Look at the industrial growth rate in the country. It has dropped decadally from about 9 to 11% between 2003 and 2012 to about 4% now.
No, but Mr.
The number of jobs being created, one more second.
Right.
The number of jobs being created, non-agricultural jobs being created, has dropped from 7 million to, I think it's 2 or 3 million. You know, there are 73 million people more who have been driven below the poverty line between 2011 and 2019. And there's been no remedy for them. There's been a little bit. I'm not saying that the government has not done anything. Please understand. I mean, all the governments, the Congress governments, as well as the BJP government from the center and its own states, has been doing things. But but they're not touching that central point of what is our future. And this is it. So I think if we draw any conclusions from this about what's going to happen in the 2024 general elections, it would be premature. It would be very much premature. Okay?
But you seem to have described the undercurrent and which way it points. But my point is that of course Congress looks very despondent. It looks very disappointed. I was just looking at what Mallikarjun Kharge said a short while back. He said that no, we'll try and put things on track, and the results have been disappointing. So losing 3 Hindi heartland states, is it not seen as a setback? You don't see it as a setback for Congress?
Look, there's less and less connection between state elections and central elections today. Do you know that in UP, in the 5 years between 2014 and 2019, I don't remember the exact figure, whether it was 18 or 19, there were the by-elections. The BJP lost all but one of them, and then swept 2018, both the election, the state elections and the central election. You know, you have to You cannot make these judgments, on the basis of a state election to a center, or center to a state.
All
That
right.
stage has gone.
Right. So
There are
you don't
different
see it as a major loss for Congress or a major gain for BJP. You don't
No,
see it from that.
it's a warning to Congress that
Okay.
it's a warning to Congress that you must find out what it is that the people want. It's not another handout, another mobile, another bicycle. Okay, now they're saying bicycles for girls is over. Now we're going to give motorcycles. Now, the handouts are not what they want. They want
Absolutely.
jobs for the future. There are none.
Right. No, but if you talk
This is the
about
problem.
jobs, then BJP also has failed to provide jobs to the people. So in terms of narrative, the projection of BJP, the way it projected itself in all the states, whether it is Rajasthan or Chhattisgarh or Madhya Pradesh, they had peppered their freebie campaign with dashes of Hindutva, with dashes of polarization. Has that really worked for BJP? And which for Congress hasn't, because it was only banking on the plank of welfareism? Is
Are
that
you
the
telling me, Neelu, are you telling me that there was no Hindutva, no dash of polarization, no dash of Hindutva in 2018 when the Congress won so spectacularly? Are you really saying that? Tell me, you are shaking your head and saying yes. Are you saying that there were no dashes of Hindutva and Muslim baiting and lynching and things like that, and love jihads and so on in 2018? Then why did the Congress win?
Right.
No, these are, to my mind, childish explanations. They're born of a complete lack of understanding. Whether it's Mr. Kharge or whether it's Mr. Yogendra Yadav or anybody else, it's born of a lack of being able to connect the election results to what's happening in the economy as a whole, or in the polity for that matter.
No, but where has Congress really gone wrong? They had the narrative by their side. They had leadership. They had put in a lot of effort. At least
They haven't been able to create jobs. The problem is that,
right.
that no one has been able to create jobs. And in this case, the Congress is in power so that dissatisfaction comes out against them. What do you think happened in Karnataka? The BJP held on to all but 0.8% of the vote that they had before, and they were wiped out. They lost 66 seats. Why you don't think that a reverse of that could be happening now? No, I think that we need to understand the electoral system we imported everything. Our democracy, its failings, we imported a lack of an election financing system because we were copying the British. We were copying somebody always. We've never thought for ourselves in this country. In 70 years, we haven't done anything for ourselves.
No, but what is the real challenge for Congress right now? What should they be doing? And they've called for an India Alliance meeting, which is on.
I'll tell you what I think the most important challenges are. The most important challenges is unemployment. And that unemployment is in the rural areas. So you need to find ways of creating jobs in the rural areas which are permanent and secure. Now, this is not the place to discuss it, but in the shift out of fossil fuels into renewable energy, there's a huge opportunity which no one is taking just now. No one has even thought of, because we are copycats. We are doing whatever the West is doing without thinking of what we can do for ourselves. This is not the time to discuss that. I'm just telling you, it's an aside, if you like. What we need to do is to think of the job situation. That's number one, and how that can be resolved. And there's much more deep thinking required there. Second, there are important elements you can do right now. There is very little justice. What justice is available is extremely expensive. The legal system is in tatters. Then there are, I can go on and on. I'm not going to go on, but think of all the other things that can be done and have a plan for that. But the most important one of all, absolutely the most important one, is employment.
You think that employment is the only issue on which both Congress and BJP need to work. Now, coming back to BJP. Now,
Whoever gets there first is going to get a huge bonanza. Yes, but you got to get there first.
Yeah, absolutely. So coming back to now BJP. Now BJP is riding high, and because of the fact that they've won Chhattisgarh, they won Rajasthan, they won Madhya Pradesh. Uh, but are there no reasons for BJP also to introspect in terms of what they did to their regional shatrabs? Say, for example, Vasundhara Raje, she was completely sidelined. Shivraj Chauhan, they didn't give him much weightage. But then they realized that this kind of victory wouldn't have been possible without him. So what are the learning lessons basically for BJP?
Neelu, this kind of reasoning is basically flawed. It's based upon the assumption that there are individuals who are being voted for. And individuals means no issues.
Okay.
It's not Vasundhara Raje Scindia or anybody like that. It is, what are you going to give the people and not give? How are you going to make their lives more secure? That is the only question in people's minds today. We live very comfortably in urban areas. Most of us in the urban areas have completely lost our original roots in the villages. I happen to be one of the rare exceptions in this, but that's again another thing, completely side issue just now. But the point is, most of us have done so, and several of us have, particularly in our profession, have lost it 2 or 3 generations ago. So the question is, we do not understand just what's happening in the rural areas at this moment. Why do you think there's so much drug addiction in Punjab? Punjab's per capita income is twice the national average. You drive in Punjab, there is no unmetalled road in Punjab. From village to village, there are metalled roads. And yet, there's the highest level of drug addiction in the entire country is in Punjab. Why?
I spoke to you about BJP and the fact that they are reveling in the fact that they've won 3 elections, 3 states out of 4, and of course tomorrow we'll see what happens in Mizoram. But is this not a reason?
No. I'll tell you, the BJP will win Mizoram, because that was the whole idea of not controlling the Meitei Kuki conflict. Meiteis are 60% of the population. Frighten them and they'll go for the BJP.
Right. No, but can BJP be assured of the fact that since they've done well in these elections, and that this does give a momentum to BJP, and especially to those people who were, writing off Modi factor completely, and they said that there is no Modi factor which exists. And recently, there have been a lot of talks about the fact that, if Congress comes back to power in these 3 states, then Modi will be completely wiped out. Now, all that has, somewhat changed in favor of BJP. So how does the Modi factor evolve from here on, sir?
Well, first I have to make a confession. Shall I tell you? I'm among the people who had hoped for this. But I had not done any analysis, and I was not, No,
sir, but I have to interrupt you here. You remember the Panoti campaign, which was rolled out because of the fact that Modi was present there in the World Cup, and they lost the World Cup, and that became a political campaign. Then Modi is unlucky. Now this is a complete reversal of that.
But these are, don't you see that these are just not the issues that win elections? We are out of touch with our own people, Neelu. Plain and simple. We are out of touch. We have no idea. We think that a cricket match, Mr. Modi is more out of touch with anybody else, because he thinks that putting on a different pagri and a different safa is, and going to different states is going to win him votes. You think this is a vote for Modi? It's a vote. And it's not a. You'll see when the polling results come out that the shift in vote is not substantial. It will be in this same region of between 3 and 6% at most. Now,
you're saying it's not a vote for Modi in all the 3 states.
It's a vote for hope. That if we change our vote, if we change our government, the next government might give us what this government has not been able to give us.
Right.
That's what it is.
Right. So Modi, the BJP and Modi need not be very happy with it.
Neelu, if the Congress becomes defeatist now, they deserve to get out of politics straight away. You were talking about what Kharge said. Why didn't he keep his mouth shut for one day and think about it? Why didn't he wait for the vote shares to come out? Why is it that I have to sit here in my house, do the calculations that he should have had to have 100 people doing for him, to tell you this? Okay, I have had a long innings in journalism, and I've seen 17 elections. So that, maybe I've got a few things, running for
Recap, sir.
me.
Just to recap what you have just said, you said that the Congress should not be having such a defeatist attitude. So, which
There's no reason for it.
right. So Congress itself doesn't know that they have done well as far as the vote share is concerned, and that's probably why. I mean, we haven't seen too many Congress people talking about this.
Neelu, the problem with Congress goes deeper than that. They're out of touch with their own country. They are all focusing on 24 Akbar Road or 10 Janpath. And they're not focusing on what's happening. Look at the Congress cadres. Yes, granted, these are 3 states. I'm sorry that they lost, of course, but I'm core pro-Congress from my birth. But that's not the issue. The issue is that they are not looking at this thing from the point of view of causation. They jump to conclusions on the basis of a small thing one way or the other. They shoot off their mouths, when they don't need to.
But what should they be doing?
The most important thing is that when you see that there's a setback, you've got to say, well, we're going to analyze that setback and we'll see why, and we're going to fix it. And yes, meeting India, calling the India Conclave meeting is good, but by the time you do that, the whole idea that the Congress is a loser will have sunk into people. You've got to react immediately within 24 to 48 hours.
Right. No, but with the India Alliance partners, Congress had a sort of, an arrogant attitude. Say, for example, with Akhilesh Yadav, what they did with him in Madhya Pradesh, how Kamalnath treated him. And then even the left parties were not treated well by Congress. So now, how do you see things? Of course, Congress will not be in a position of strength to bargain too much with the India Alliance partners. So how do things unfold from here on as far as the India Alliance per se for 2024 is concerned?
Well, look, somehow the other, if the Congress is able to think of the country instead of its seats, it might be a little better. Because let me tell you one thing. If Mr. Modi wins the next election, there will not be another election in India. A general election, at least. Before we get to that general election, things will have happened which could easily cause a major rupture between North and South of India, because that's the direction in which everything is being pushed by this government. Everything that this government is doing is heightening confrontations and conflicts inside society. The BJP is trying to actually capitalize on conflict. And if the India Alliance's important thing is that they are talking the opposite language of togetherness. You do well in Karnataka. Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra has a tremendous impact there. You misread the whole thing. You think now we're coming back to power. I think it's a good thing that they've got a shock just now, but provided they learn from it.
So what are the chances that they'll learn from this kind of a shock which they've got?
Look, first and foremost, let me say a few things. The first thing is that India Alliance needs a platform. It's 3 months since it was formed. There is not even a website for India Alliance. There's not a federal channel on YouTube for India Alliance. There is no group of people speaking for India Alliance as India Alliance. They're still talking Congress, Akhilesh, etc. And in each party, the second rank, the people who are trying to get up and doing anything that they can, sucking up to anybody, running down anybody, in order to get one step further up in the books of the decision makers. Those people are actually doing their best to prevent the alliance from actually concretizing, because they feel that the moment we start sharing our seats, a whole lot of us will not be in the picture anymore, because in every state, no state will we have all the possibility of the chance of fighting all the seats. So we can't go to the local people and say, give us money and let us fight for you, because when we come back, we'll give you this, that, and the other. That is what the system runs on today.
Right.
So one last thing. I think that it is important for the alliance to set up a common platform, to have a brains trust of analysts, young people, who, guided by people like Yogendra Yadav, for example. The India Alliance must speak for each other. Has anyone from any other party spoken up for Mahua Moitra? Has anyone spoken up for Arvind Kejriwal? Has anyone spoken up for Manish Sisodia? Did anyone speak up for Sanjay Raut? Modi is tearing the opposition apart piece by piece, and the opposition is sitting there and taking it. They're like sheep being led to the slaughter. There is no response. I mean, you have a channel. Satya Hindi has a channel. Ravish Kumar opened a channel immediately because he's a fighter. Where are the fighters in Congress? Where are the fighters in the India Alliance? The South is still as far away from the North as it was before the India Alliance was formed. Why don't you reach out?
You were saying that
there.
Right.
You
so
bring them in.
Right. You made an important point, and you said that there is no fighting spirit in the opposition, and especially Congress. That's what you're saying?
Yes, absolutely.
So, of course, what they need to do, you've already pointed out. So if you look at the results in a cumulative manner today, and if I may ask you that, what are the biggest takeaways for Congress and for BJP as well from today's election results?
The takeaway from my point, that I think the most important one is, you have 4 months before the next election. You must be fully, within 1 month, you must have a platform from which you can address the whole country. Since no major TV channel is going to be doing that, you need to create your own channel. Another thing that I would suggest to anybody is that don't have a 24-hour channel. What you have a 2 or 3 hour channel in prime time in the evening on YouTube, and plan it well so that on that day you can take everything that is being said by the opposition and tear it apart. And that's number one. Number two, give the alternatives for those. Number three, rebut their attacks on you. Number four, support people within the alliance. I cannot understand that a lady like Mahua Moitra has been, actually, it shocks me. I can't even speak about the kind of insinuations that I saw in the little bit that came out on that privileges committee. I have been before the privileges committee, and I remember with the courtesy with which I was treated. Twice I have had to be before the privileges committee for what I've written in the past, and that courtesy is gone. Here's a lady, a single lady, and you are making the most awful insinuations against her. And when she rightly loses her temper, and you say we're going to expel her from Parliament, all of you should expel yourselves from Parliament. You have no shame. And what's the alliance doing? What on earth have they done? In 3 months, they haven't even created a website. They're a joke, let's face it. And there's only 4 months left to go.
Right. So
if in 1 month they've not got on the scene in a really big way, they have no hope of even making that 3% shift in vote that is required to prevent the BJP from coming to power on its own. That's all you can hope for. If you can do that, then you've saved democracy.
Right. But now, since the time is very, very limited, hardly 4 months left, and they have lots to do in the if at all India Alliance really needs to work up. So is that time enough? Will they be able to do it, or it's just like the end of the road for the opposition?
If you know what to offer, for example, I'm not going to go into this now, that there is a technology which, if implemented, can create 100 million jobs in the next 10 years in the rural areas. This is a different subject, but there is one. For instance, if they were to say, we can do this. This is how we will do it. People will listen. This is how we will do it. Handouts are no good. After they're over, what happens next? And how long can handouts go on? So I think that there's a lot of real work to be done. I mean, analytical work to be done. The Congress needs, it's not just the Congress, the whole alliance today needs to first fight for each other. For God's sake, open your mouths and defend your own members. Second, I cannot understand why they're taking so long over the most important and the simplest thing of all, which is the decision on how you will decide who stands from which constituency. All you need to do is to look at the parliamentary and what do you call it, Vidhan Sabha results there to see which party has done best.
Right.
Say, okay, you will stand. That's all. Don't even count. Let the counting come at the end. That, okay, on this basis, the Congress gets 150 seats, on the Aam Aadmi gets 22 seats, some other party gets this, and so on and so on and so on. So that should come at the end.
Right. So, Mr. Jha, which means that 2024 again is going to be like a cakewalk for BJP, because we do not have a stiff opposition. We do not have any narrative. We do not have any potential platform which we can see as of now. We do not know what they'll do in the next 3-4 months, but the time is very limited. So does 2024 then look very, very easy now for Modi?
No, on the contrary, I disagree with everything you've said. Because please don't underestimate your voters. You come out on a platform which actually can multiply itself. That's the important thing, because that's what you haven't got in the newspapers today. That's been killed. You've got to go the media only. But if you could do that, all you need to come out with is a statement which rings right in people's minds. Most of the people who are looking for jobs are educated. The education levels differ, but even without that, there is a great deal of wisdom. There are parts of joint families where they discuss these things. You say that this is how we plan to do it. Say 2 or 3 or 4 ideas, just crucial ideas. I can think of 4 areas in which you can say, you can make really telling points and say, this is what we will do, and nothing more. And just keep repeating those same things. Don't go on the defensive. There's no need to. Modi is attacking wildly precisely because they are on the defensive. And I think the best thing that can come out of this election just now is to give them a false sense of security. I'd be delighted if that happens.
But people say, I mean, like on earlier platforms also, when we were having a discussion, people were saying that now the only hope which India Alliance has is, to execute the Mandal politics. And that can really...
God Almighty. Where has the Mandal politics taken? I was with VP Singh, for God's sake. Where did Mandal politics take us in the next election? I was part of the campaign in the next election. Where did it take us? This is these instant diagnoses and instant remedies, and with no understanding of your country. Neither is politics nor its economics, let alone merging the two.
Right.
This is just, it's the one-eyed in the kingdom of the blind.
All right. So one last question, Mr. Jha, before I wind up the interview. What does 2024 at the moment look like? From here on, from today onwards, when we see 2024 is easy for BJP, it's difficult for Congress. If I may ask you.
Answer in one sentence is 2024 looks no different today from what it did yesterday. Yesterday, the Congress... the alliance did not know the dimensions of the challenge it faces. Today, it has a much better idea of those dimensions. And therefore, they have a chance. They have still a momentary last-minute 4-month window in which to do something about it. which in their complacency, they were not going to do. Had they won even 2 of the 3 of these state elections, that complacency wouldn't have gone. I'm glad they've got a shock. I'm very glad they've got a shock.
Okay, so this shock will probably come as a boon now for India Alliance.
Well, it should, but I do not overestimate the capacity for suicide even now.
Okay. All right. All right. So thank you so much. It was wonderful listening to your analysis. Thank you so much. It was wonderful having you on the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Neelu.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, sir. Bye.